Much for the update.
Meanwhile, in Jersey, pubs will close earlier, children will wear masks at school and gatherings will be limited in an attempt to slow the spread of coronavirus.
The government has also announced new financial support measures targeting the accommodation, events and attraction sectors which have been hardest hit by the pandemic. Well, Eastland Jones is live in St Helier for us now. Eastland, why do authorities say these stricter measures are needed?
Well, Claire, the numbers are undoubtedly on the way up. So far in November, we've already had around 30 cases of unknown source, which means there's a fair level of community spread already. As of today, we've got 163 positive cases and more than 1,700 people isolating as direct contacts. Now, it was said today, in an early warning phase, and targeted measures are going to be crucial if we're going to be able to avoid another lockdown before Christmas. The challenge overall now in terms of track and trace as well crucially has moved away from the border to on island, and containing that spread now, we were told, is something we all have to take responsibility for.
10 days after the UK went into a second lockdown, Jersey too is tightening the reins. But the latest measures are hoped to protect the economy as well as islanders, which means shutting down is not on the cards yet.
Without urgent and concerted action by all islanders now, we may be forced to implement short-term lockdown measures in early December. And these short-term measures could be longer-term, possibly extending into the Christmas period, if this situation isn't managed.
To help manage it, a number of new measures are being introduced, including bars and restaurants having to close at 10 for 10:30, gatherings reducing from 40 to 20, and uncontrolled private gatherings reducing to 10 people. Funerals will remain an exception, reducing from 80 to 40 people. There'll be triple testing at the border on days 0, 5 and 10. Testing for care home residents will increase. And school children in years 11, 12 and 13 will have to wear masks when they can't socially distance. Business support is also being ramped up by £17 million to cushion what they're hoping will be a soft blow for now.
The consistent aim of the government's COVID response measures has been the preservation of lives and livelihoods. We have endeavoured to ensure businesses can continue operating despite the volatile, unpredictable trading conditions, so that islanders' jobs are protected.
Measures to that end will include an updated payroll co-funding scheme for those whose business is down at least 20% on the year before, a visitor accommodation targeted support package covering up to 80% of their fixed room costs, and in due course an events and attraction support package. It's the lesser of two evils for businesses, but will the support offered be enough to carry them through the winter?
Co-funding in its own for restaurants and bars is, I don't think, enough to hold us afloat. People have to remember that ordinarily, and the season ends at end of September, then we go into Tennerfest, and Tennerfest is what you don't make money on Tennerfest, it's a promotional activity. Then you have a few weeks in November where the business drops off completely. And then you've got this wonderful opportunity at Christmas time to make money, which holds you through the winter months, January, February and March, until you come into the spring the following year.
A new law is being lodged today and will be debated next week to give the rules legal force. So as the island moves closer to Christmas, it's becoming clear that this year's celebrations will be different in Jersey too.
So key really is that rule of 10 for private gatherings. It doesn't matter if it's adults or children. Children are people too. I was explicitly told by Dr. Muscat today. We're generally advised against all gatherings that involve a lot of alcohol, where people will lose their inhibitions and, crucially, that distance from other people. Off licences too will be stopped from selling alcohol after 10:30, in line with the rules for bars and restaurants. The idea, of course, to try and stop people from simply taking their party back home. In terms of time frame, masks for older children will start from Wednesday. All other measures will come into effect at 2 a.m. on Friday morning, just in time for the weekend.
Eastland in St Helier, thank you.
Okay.